Picture this. You wake up on an ordinary morning, and a strange, uncomfortable thought settles in. The life you're living might not actually belong to you. Every choice you've made, every value you hold, every craving that quietly pulls you in one direction or another. How many of those did you truly choose? How much of you is really you? And how much is a costume you built, piece by piece, to survive other people's expectations? In this video, we're going to dig into one of Carl Jung's boldest claims, that your life doesn't truly start until you meet yourself. Carl Jung believed real psychological development was a lifelong movement toward individuation, becoming the specific, undivided person you actually are, not a copy of what the world expects. Most people never make that journey. They wear an identity assembled from other people's opinions, mistaking approval for happiness. Jung claimed real life starts only once you stop fleeing your own depths. But first, we need to understand what keeps almost everyone from starting. From your first days, the shaping begins. You're given a name, a role, and unspoken rules about what earns praise and what earns punishment. You learned which parts of yourself were welcome in public, and built a convincing front to display them while quietly hiding the rest. Jung called that front the persona. It's useful, but the danger is that most people forget it was ever a mask to begin with. Everything the persona hides has to go somewhere. Jung called that reservoir the shadow. Buried fears, desires, and even hidden strengths. The shadow doesn't disappear just because you stop looking. It quietly steers your reactions and judgments of others through projection. Jung's real insight wasn't destroy the shadow, it was integrate it. That's where real freedom and personal power come from. Jung pointed to dreams, symbols, and honest self-reflection as the main doorways into the unconscious, material genuinely worth decoding. The real starting point is simpler: attention. The moment you question a belief you've held automatically for years, the work has already begun. Take the fear of rejection. It rarely comes from the present. It usually traces to an old wound. Naming it tends to loosen its grip almost immediately. If life were only about consciously deciding who to become, everyone would live exactly as intended. But we repeat the same patterns again and again. Jung called this shared layer the collective unconscious, populated by inherited patterns called archetypes: the hero, the wise elder, the villain, the innocent child. The hero archetype always travels with the shadow. In myth, the hero must face the monster before real transformation can happen. Instead of burying self-doubt deeper, Jung would ask you to interrogate it. Where did it actually come from, and what value might be hidden inside it? Jung called two inner dimensions the anima, feminine, and animus, masculine, present in everyone, unrelated to conventional gender roles. When these two forces are integrated, a person feels settled and whole. When one side is rejected, inner conflict shows up. Jung's real thesis: finding yourself isn't about discarding parts of who you are. It's holding light and dark together at once, becoming whole. Most people assume their identity is fixed. Jung argued the opposite. The self is always in motion, and far larger than the identity you cling to. Jung distinguished the small ego, obsessed with labels and boundaries, from the self. The fuller totality beneath the identity you perform daily. This is both liberating and unsettling. The fears and stories you've told yourself for years are just a temporary structure your mind built to feel safe. Jung's answer: the ego isn't a villain. It's the part of the mind constantly drawing lines of me and not me. Loosen the grip, and new possibilities open. Jung's path takes patience. First, Stop fearing the unknown. Growth happens exactly where you feel uncertain. Second, loosen your grip on labels. Job titles, names, and the past are shorthand, not the whole picture of who you are. Third, listen to your unconscious. Dreams and instincts aren't background noise, but an internal guidance system pointing toward wholeness. Fourth, accept this isn't a finish line. Finding yourself is a continuous unfolding, layer after layer, for as long as you're alive. The most important takeaway: you were never actually lost. What you've been searching for was present the whole time, simply waiting to be noticed. The choice is yours. Life doesn't really begin until you find yourself. And now, you know exactly where to start looking. If this journey of finding yourself gave you something to think about, hit subscribe and tap the bell, so you don't miss the next explorations into psychology and philosophy that help you understand yourself more deeply. And if this video meant something to you, leave a like and share it with someone who might need to hear this too.